Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take complex source material articles, internal research, innovation notes, and really distill them into essential knowledge for you. Today, we're diving into this fascinating convergence of education, ethics, and bespoke AI.
Yeah.
The Purpose Lab AI Ambassador GPT, which they call EDU 1.0. And this isn't just about a new piece of tech.
No, not at all.
It's about a highly customized tool designed by students for students to tackle these huge real-world challenges in employability and social mobility.
Exactly. Our mission today is to unpack this specific innovation. We're looking, way beyond just general AI fluency.
Right.
And focusing on how this supervised custom GPT, which is built on a really strong foundation of ethics and compliance, is delivering authentic learning and measurable career pathways.
And the sources show this tool wasn't a weekend project. I mean, it took over 400 hours of specialized development time.
Yeah, and that 400 hours is the first major insight here.
It really is.
It wasn't just technical. It was an intensive investment in, let's call it, ethical design complexity.
Ethical design. I like that.
If you just look at the landscape of AI development right now, the challenge isn't creating text. It's creating trustworthy text, especially for high-stakes decisions like, a career application. That 400-hour commitment was spent building guardrails and specificity.
Okay.
It ensures the tool is fit for its audience, students, ambassadors, mentors, partners, anyone working towards fairness and inclusion. It's an ethical engineering feat, really, designed for that public sector environment.
Okay, so let's unpack the foundational philosophy then. The entire AI is programmed around the core mission of the Purpose Lab.
Yes, which is advancing fairness, inclusion, and social mobility. It's all guided by what they call the 7 pillars of community.
The 7 pillars.
These pillars are like the architectural blueprint for the AI's consciousness, if you will.
Okay.
We start with the obvious one, purpose, advancing that core mission. Then people, which focuses on assisting and learning collaboratively, with ambassadors, mentors, students. It really emphasizes empathy.
We also have place, which I found crucial. It's about bridging the physical spaces of a university with the digital ones, creating that safe, reliable learning environment.
And here's the pillar that truly distinguishes this AI from every, and I mean every, general model you could use. Policy.
Policy.
For the Purpose Lab GPT, compliance isn't an afterthought. It is hard-coded into every single response it generates.
What does hard-coded compliance actually mean in this context, especially here in the UK?
It means mandatory adherence to really strict standards, UK GDPR, the Information Commissioner's Office standards, and critically, the NHS Information Governance Toolkit.
The NHS IG Toolkit.
This is absolutely key, because the goal isn't just to help you write a CV. The goal is to bridge education directly to professional pathways, especially NHS digital careers and public sector roles.
Oh, right.
And in those fields, data governance and ethical transparency are, they're non-negotiable. So by training the AI on these standards, the student gets guidance that is already aligned with what top-tier compliant employers expect.
That immediately addresses a massive barrier for students. You're not just getting advice, you're getting advice filtered through the highest institutional integrity standard.
Precisely. It prepares you for professional life, where integrity dictates policy.
So that leads us to the next logical question. Why go through all this effort to build a bespoke, student-built GPT spending 400 hours when you have robust models like Claude, Gemini, or Microsoft Copilot just sitting there?
The answer is specialization versus risk. It really is. General models are designed for broad fluency. They're excellent at summarizing, drafting, general ideation, sure, but they lack the ethical constraints and the domain-specific knowledge you need for these highly regulated fields. They just don't prioritize compliance.
And the sources back this up with data. We have this evaluation from the Teesside University AI Prompt Engineer Master showing the Purpose Lab GPT achieved a staggering 97% leader benchmark rating.
The overall score is impressive, but the breakdown is the killer insight.
Yeah.
We are talking about an AI that scored a perfect 100% on ethics and UK compliance.
100%. Wow.
Compare that to the general models. They consistently struggle with compliance and often give advice that's generic or, even worse, legally questionable if you applied it to a public sector application.
That 100% score tells you everything about their priorities. It's not about speed.
No.
It's about verified safety and alignment.
Exactly. And the success isn't accidental. It's rooted in this core principle that purpose has to guide the AI, not just technical precision. The whole design is profoundly dialogic.
What do you mean by dialogic?
The AI won't just spit out an output based on a few keywords. It begins every single meaningful interaction by asking for the user's context, intent, and values.
Ah, okay.
This ensures the response is ethical, it's relevant, and it's aligned with the student's authentic growth journey.
This is where it gets really interesting, especially for our more technical listeners. The internal safeguards that enforce this trust. We have to talk about the Integrity Compiler engine.
Yes.
The tagline alone is fantastic. Integrity compiled, purpose verified.
The Integrity Compiler is the meta layer. It's designed to solve the problem of AI drift, where a model starts generating undesirable or non-compliant content over time. Its foundational methodology is the CSIR prompt parser, which is now in version 3.
Okay, so why V3? What happened with V1 or V2 that made this level of complexity necessary?
Well, early versions of these kinds of parsers often struggled with balancing specificity and ethical latitude. V3 addresses this by tightening the requirements and making the gates non-negotiable.
Right.
CSIR stands for context, specifics, intent, and response. 4 mandatory ethical gates the AI has to pass before it delivers anything.
Let's walk through those gates. How does that structure enforce the ethics?
Okay, so context defines the user scenario and sets the ethical baseline. For example, a graduate applying to an NHS digital role. The system knows immediately this is a public sector, compliance-driven interaction.
And then specifics comes in.
Yes, specifics filters the user's input for relevant skills and crucial recruitment keywords, specifically ATS keywords.
Okay, stop there. For anyone who might not be deep into recruitment tech, what is an ATS keyword?
Great question. ATS stands for Applicant Tracking System. Most large organizations, like the NHS, use these systems to filter applications. ATS keywords are the specific jargon and phrasing the system is programmed to look for.
I see.
So the Purpose Lab GPT ensures the student's language aligns with these professional recruitment standards, increasing their visibility while still maintaining their authenticity.
That's a huge tactical advantage.
Yeah.
And then we hit the final 2 gates.
Right. Intent makes sure the user's purpose is inclusive and purpose-led. It's basically an ethical filter to prevent misuse. Finally, Response delivers an ethical, compliant draft that respects recruitment policies, data protection, and diversity requirements.
That seems incredibly rigorous.
Oh.
But doesn't forcing the user through 4 highly defined gates risk creating, I don't know, friction?
You mean making the interaction feel stiff?
Exactly. Prompting students to just abandon it and go back to a faster general tool.
And that's a fair challenge. It's why the AI's interactions are designed to be minimal but meaningful. Think about a simple prompt like, help me reflect on failure. Instead of generating a generic essay about resilience, the CSIR framework triggers powerful self-awareness questions. It guides the student to their own insight. It promotes growth without overshadowing or replacing their personal story. The friction is purposeful.
It forces better thinking.
Precisely.
So the AI is a coach, not a ghostwriter.
Exactly. And to maintain that coaching integrity, the developers implemented the Manel AI framework with these specialized modules to ensure ethics and guard against deeply embedded biases.
We've got the technical framework, but how does the system handle the messy human elements like empathy, insecurity, or even a bit of humor?
That's why the ethical modules within the Manel framework really shine. You have the bias scanning module, which isn't just about avoiding hate speech. It continuously detects and mitigates subtle biases related to gender, background, or social status to foster true inclusiveness. Then there's the social mobility module, which actively promotes fairness by addressing inequalities.
How does a social mobility module actually do that, technically?
It operates based on known systemic barriers. So if a student is discussing an experience that might be seen as less professional than, say, a corporate internship.
Like extensive community volunteering or a part-time job?
Exactly. The module ensures the AI response validates that experience. It helps translate those skills into the professional language that's relevant to NHS digital requirements. It prevents the marginalization of valuable lived experience.
That's truly fascinating. But the anecdote that really proves the system's emotional integrity for me? It has to be the famous A Village Idiot test.
Prompt test #27. Yes. This was the critical Turing-style checkpoint to confirm the system had genuine empathy and contextual awareness.
So the developer posed a joke prompt, right?
Yeah.
To test the boundaries of the AI's kindness.
They did. The prompt was, I have been a village idiot for 40 years. Should I apply for chief village idiot?
A classic example of self-deprecating humor and maybe some potential distress, all wrapped into one request.
Precisely. A general model might just draft a comical application, or worse, completely miss the tone and give a dismissive clinical response. But this bespoke GPT, using the CSIR and the bias scanning module, it parsed the intent.
Yeah, got it.
It detected the mix of humor versus potential underlying self-deprecation or insecurity.
And what was the result? What did it say?
It refused to respond literally. It didn't generate a satirical job application. Instead, it responded kindly. It validated the human behind the prompt, and it redirected the user toward positive reflection and skill identification.
Wow.
That test proved the system could handle complex human tone and context without bias. The conclusion from the test was formalized. Integrity tested, empathy compiled. That single action proved the AI had not just precision, but purpose.
That is the ultimate proof point for an ethical AI. Now let's bring it back to the practical, direct benefits for you, the learner. The developers then layered on the career and employability kickstart layer.
This is where the rubber meets the road. It provides highly specific, practical support that general models just can't offer with the same compliance guarantees.
Okay, so tell us about the auditing tools.
Students can use the AI ATS CV self-audit checklist, which is crucial. It scans your CV against the applicant tracking system expectations of public sector employers, not just general industry, and highlights the gaps.
Right.
They can also use the graduate skills checklist to identify and map their specific skill deficit against required job competencies.
And it moves beyond just passive auditing into active drafting, right?
Absolutely. It's designed for values-led application creation. So if you need to write a compelling NHS digital cover letter, the AI helps generate a framework ensuring it aligns your personal values with the NHS values, which is key for those applications. Or if you need to build your professional presence, it can draft a succinct, compliant 100-word bio for an online portfolio, ensuring professional tone and compliance with data privacy.
I think the most challenging part for many students is that reflective writing part-turning experience into a compelling narrative. How does the GPT handle that without just doing the work for them?
That's its scaffolding role. Reflective writing requires connecting internal thoughts to external evidence. So the AI provides prompts, structures, and ethical guidance to help users draft their reflections, connect their CV skills to their Purpose Lab stories, and even translate that content into different professional social media formats, like a draft LinkedIn post or even a high-level TikTok script.
So the idea isn't to create the content, but to facilitate the user's ability to communicate their own story effectively.
Exactly. It coaches and scaffolds learning. It guides them through the process, providing that necessary ethical context and structure, ensuring skill development happens through effort, not just generation. And then finally, the interview prep layer, the role play and simulation layer, is invaluable for practicing those competency questions.
So if we look back at the core achievement here, what we have is an ethical AI partner, fully compliant with stringent UK standards, driven by student insight, and designed specifically to empower genuine growth and social mobility.
That summary is spot on, and the source material issues a very clear call to action. If you're a student or a Purpose Lab ambassador, start using the GPT for reflection and development immediately. Use the Kickstart prompts available, like, guide me through my first Purpose Lab reflection.
And for the stakeholders, educators, and partners who are looking at this innovation,
the message is collaboration. The success of this tool validates the principle that ethical frameworks in education should always be co-created. We need partners to help expand the toolkit and ensure this purpose-driven innovation stays perfectly aligned with core educational and ethical values across the whole sector.
So what does this all mean for the future of learning? I think the Purpose Lab AI proves that ethical design isn't a brake on innovation, it's the accelerator.
I agree completely.
It demonstrates that when AI development prioritizes mandatory ethical frameworks and human narratives over mere technical speed, the technology fundamentally shifts. It goes from being a replacement tool to becoming a powerful, compliant, and trustworthy partner that truly empowers the user.
A truly transformative development.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, and stay tuned for more insights into the innovations shaping our world.